What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, The Informant Media. Now let's get back into this. So recently, Brandon Tucker has come out with a video against Almighty Suspect. So we're gonna get into that video a little bit later. But right now, I want to talk about mostly Brandon Tucker and why I don't like his ideas. Not even his ideas because he steals his ideas. Most of his ideas are brought to you by Google or AI. So it's not really his ideas. That's why he just cosplays as his MAGA dude. He cosplays as a conservative, even though he has no idea what he's talking about when it comes to any of these ideas. Now, recently, or not recently, about 5 months ago, 6 months ago, he was hired at No Jumper. And on his first day at No Jumper, he got into it with this co-host called Almighty Suspect. Now, Brandon, who cosplays as a Pan-Africanist, got into it with this light-skinned black dude. And what did he do? Of course, he starts attacking his racial components, and he pretty much called Almighty Suspect a white guy. No, he didn't pretty much. He actually did call Almighty Suspect a white guy. Let's listen to this.
Hey, you said the hard ER. You sound you said hard ER. Then you said stupid. some nonsense, and I said maybe it was white blood stirring up in you.
So that was Brandon's pretty much his introduction into the No Jumper sector. Now he got hired with No Jumper, and as you can see in this picture right here, he was pretty happy that he got hired with No Jumper. He was very excited. He finally that's the look at that photo. That's the photo you take when you like, oh man, I made it. I made it. You know, like when you think you made it, this is the photo that you take right here. So you see this photo right here. That was a happy time. Back when No Jumper was bringing him on, paying him $200, I guess, to come on like 3 times a week. Now, recently, he left No Jumper again because they reduced his work week down to 1 day. So he was getting like $200 a week or something like that. And he was very upset about that. Now, he has really not done anything at No Jumper to prove anything that he claimed. He claimed he's a black belt. And apparently, he's never competed as a black belt. He also complained that he's some type of genius or something like that, a political thinker. However, we found out that most of his political ideas, most of his political, I guess, knowledge comes from, well, Google. He has no thoughts of his own without Googling it first or checking with AI just to make sure that, I guess, there's some backing of that idea that he has or whatever. But when I say this, I mean that he has no, like, he can't just say something and back it up just off the base of his brain cells. He can't do that. Now, recently, Almighty Suspect came on and said that he might be going back to jail. And before I get into that, let me get into something else. Now, I want to talk about that Pan-Africanism for 1 second. So, Brandon came out of this Pan-Africanism brought to you by Umar Johnson. So, if you guys don't know who Umar Johnson is this guy who cosplays as a Pan-Africanist online. When in all actuality, Umar Johnson is a Pan-Africanist for profit. Everything that he does for the community, he wants them to pay him for it. When he goes up to these events, they pay him for it. This school, people have been paying him for it for 15 years, going on 2 decades. And there's still no school. All the money has been going to him. Also, with that shockumentary, he collected money in 2023 for a shockumentary. He took that money, never made the film. Nobody even talks about the shockumentary, even though there's plenty of evidence online of him collecting money. I actually made videos on my channel here about him collecting money for that shockumentary, which he never produced. Now, this is the branch of Pan-Africanism that Brandon Tucker comes out of. Now, this whole Pan-Africanist over here, this Pan-Africanism over here, this is pretty much the blame black people for everything. Say that you guys aren't accomplishing anything. That way you give us money. That way we can say that we're doing something on behalf of the black community. This is where pretty much Umar Johnson, Brandon, they shine in this type of stuff. When it comes to shaming black people, that's all they do. And as you can see, before I get to Brandon, let me talk about this Umar Johnson. First of all, Umar Johnson, nobody should be following behind him. This guy has 4 baby mamas. Mm-hmm. He's unemployed. He's been unemployed since 2010, and you can look at his court paperwork with his baby mamas, and it says that he has a bunch of generic orders, which means that he's unemployed. So his child support is based off minimum wage. Nobody should be following behind this guy. He's not a Pan-Africanist. He's a bum who doesn't even take care of his own kids, but he masquerades talking about he wants to pretty much save everybody else's kids. How are you going to save everybody else's kids when you have multiple baby mamas and you're not even trying to be in any of your kids' life? That doesn't make any sense. But this is the person who Brandon looked up to for some time until he turned on Umar Johnson, I think about a year ago. Then he started making videos about him. But after all that time, this self-proclaimed genius, the political idealist, Brandon, followed behind Umar Johnson. Even though Umar Johnson couldn't back up anything that he said, he couldn't back up where the money for the school went, where the money for the shockumentary, the movie that he never produced went. He couldn't back up any of the money. And now he all of a sudden, about 1 or 2 years ago, stopped backing Umar Johnson. So I say that to say this. We get into Brandon's so-called Pan-Africanism. And just like Umar Johnson, he likes talking down on black people and try to belittle black people in order for him to be able to feel good about himself. Like, I want you guys to listen to some of the horrific things that Brandon has said about black people. Also, I want to point out this. Now, he said something about that kid that did that stabbing in Texas. I forgot his name, but that kid that you guys know about the case. So there was 2 cases that was very related. In one case, you had a black kid that stabbed a white kid. In the other case, there was a white kid who stabbed a Hispanic kid. When it came to the white kid stabbing the Hispanic kid, Brandon made excuses for it. And then he had all his facts wrong because Brandon didn't even know that the stabbing itself took place in a restroom. He talking about it took place in the hallway when he was up there at the Viral Way podcast. Absolutely fake. So he makes excuses for the white guy, but then he blames the black kids that he needs to go to jail. But Brandon has said all type of foul things like this before, and I'm going to play a couple of those things right now.
If you uphold the law, keep it the same. Because a white kid stabbed a Hispanic kid, where was all these public opinions at?
That's not the facts. That's not even closely remotely.
Just because you say it's not the facts, don't make it not the facts, nigga.
If you stop interrupting me, I can tell you what the facts
I want to know why it's not.
I'm the only nigga who did research right here. I can tell that. I can tell from this conversation I'm the only nigga who did research.
We did. You don't even know about the case you're talking about.
Okay.
You were here.
You just brought up the white kid who stabbed the Mexican.
Go ahead.
Did you know that kid got jumped in the bathroom by like 5 kids? And when he continued, I don't want to fight. Those kids pursued this nigga out the bathroom, still was trying to fight him. That's when that kid pulled out a knife and stabbed someone.
In the video, Allison revealed that he took the knife from his stepdad's closet that morning out of fear of being jumped by Ramirez. And also that before Ramirez had punched him, he had pulled the knife out and told Ramirez, quote, "Don't touch me or I'm going to stab you."
So he goes and he gets the knife. We already established that he went and he got the knife from his dad's closet and he took it there out of fear that he was going to get jumped by Joe Ramirez and anybody else that was there, even though that was not going to happen. It was always going to be a one-on-one fight. Because if you look at or hear what they're talking about, no one jumped in. Even after he stabbed him, I don't think anybody pulled him off of him.
Somebody killed Tyrese Nicoles when the cops killed Tyrese Nicoles. Why the hell do I got to give a damn about it? It's him. It ain't me. It ain't my kid. It ain't my son. Why should I care?
That's what I said.
Because you also said that you.
Who killed more black people, Nipsey Hussle or Charlie Kirk?
I believe they probably neither of them killed anyone.
Well, let's say who promoted the death and murder of black people more, Nipsey or Charlie Kirk? Nipsey did.
Charlie Kirk's trying to take away our civil rights, guys.
You're talking trash about you support Nipsey because you're pandering, bro. Charlie, I don't have enough to say
I just think he's a dope rapper, bro.
I would take. Listen, I would take 100 Charlie. Look, I would take one Charlie Kirk over 100 Nipsey Hussles.
You went to the Marathon Burger opening talking about I'm pandering.
For the simple fact of this, Charlie Kirk's the things he promoted, in my opinion, was the direction someone like Nipsey Hussle eventually was going to end up at, right?
Because of DEI, it begs the question when you see a black pilot, you wonder, you say, I hope they are qualified.
So now that you guys have heard that, now I want you guys to listen to Almighty Suspect. He kind of explains the situation. You know, I'm not going to even like take from Almighty Suspect. To Almighty Suspect, you got yourself in a situation, but I'm not running to the internet and celebrating the fact that he's going to be going to jail. This guy has 2 kids or 3 kids. I forgot how many he has. All, I believe, are under the age of 10. And I guess it seems like he wants to change his life, but these are past crimes that he did. He's trying to take a plea deal for one of them, which is 6 months. And that's not even including the other cases that he has open. So we're talking about 6 months just for one. So we don't know how much more time he's going to get. Brandon took to his channel to pretty much celebrate that this guy's going to jail. This is a Pan-Africanist, you guys. This is a Umar Johnson, the Umarian Pan-Africanist sector. I tell you guys about these Umarian Pan-Africanists all the damn time. They don't care about black people. They don't care about themselves. They care about money over everything else. They will sacrifice their kids in order to get more money. This is where you find Brandon Tucker, that idiot that uses AI to pretty much get his talking points. He's an idiot. I'm sorry to tell you guys that. I know there are some people that think he's some type of genius, but remember, he was over there complaining on No Jumper that he was debating gangsters and crackheads. But Brandon, those are your political, how do you say that? Those are your political equals when it comes to thinking. Politically speaking, those are your equals. I mean, you might not do drugs, you might not do alcohol or anything else, but those people who are on drugs are just as adequate as you, or if not better than you when it comes to political thinking, because at least those people don't have to use Google to get their ideas. But I'll say all that to get back into this. So Almighty Suspect took to No Jumper. He pretty much said that he could be going to jail. He could be doing a lot of time missed with his kids, time missed with his family, time missed for the holidays. Now, I'm going to play that. Then we're going to go to Brandon Tucker, who celebrated the fact that this guy's going to be going to jail because he's in this ongoing beef. And by the way, Brandon's beefing with him. Almighty Suspect is not worried about Brandon because he's a nobody. Like I said, he's not even worried about No Suspect. Brandon's beefing with him to drive more views to his channel. That's all he's doing right now.
Last time Suspect, where's Suspect?
Yeah, I was in court fighting for my freedom.
Oh, it'd be like that.
I'm pretty sure you out, my boy.
Exactly. Fresh fit.
For now.
Do you care to discuss like what you got going on with that?
Yeah, you feel me? I'm definitely facing a cool little amount of time. You feel me? And it's looking like the only way that I'm going away with, like, the only way I'm not going to jail is if I go to trial and beat everything, which is highly unlikely. So you feel me? It's probably looking like I'm gonna be going for a couple summers.
Okay, so regardless.
I mean, just listening to that right there, you can obviously hear it in his voice that he's kind of distraught. He's obviously it sounds like he's kind of defeated because he mentioned that he can go to trial if he doesn't take the plea deal, but he feels like he's not going to be able to beat the trial because, you know, his record, his criminal record as a child and all this stuff. You can go to the video. I'm going to link it in the description below. But let's get over here to what Brandon Tucker had to say. And, of course, this foul-mouthed idiot, this obese cow, he had a field day with this. This is a Pan-Africanist, you guys. You guys have to remember that this guy is going out here claiming to be a Pan-Africanist while he has nothing good to say about any black people anywhere. You don't always have to say something good about black people, but the way that he does it, this conservative cooning that he does, and he's not getting any more views off of it, but he will stick with it, even though he has no idea what being a conservative is. He has no idea what being part of the MAGA group is. He has no idea what being a Pan-Africanist is. He just uses all these big titles because he wants to drive views to his channel, even though he has no idea what any of these things actually mean, and he doesn't practice them. He uses it as a label for people to drive to his channel, in my opinion.
I mean, I guess there's a chance he might not end up going. I guess a very slim chance, but it doesn't look likely. The way that dude looked depressed on that show the other day, between the legal system, his ignorance, and these rites and rituals that I'm about to work on, bro's cooked. Bro is cooked. I'm incorporating the power of all my witches to get to make sure this nigga's hairline is going to be non-existent. His hairline is going to be sitting back like the 2-yard line on the NFL football field. When I freaking bought this book, bro, the dude at the store, the African was like, do not buy this book, bro. He was like, do not buy this book, bro. This is a book of rites and rituals. You can read it right there. Magical rites and traditions. Look at the back. Look at the back of the book. Do you see this book? This is not a joke. Understand that. I will get in this book, bro. I'm reading this bitch tonight.
Hold up. Before I even continue with the video, now he's talking about this book as if he never read it, and he's only bringing it out as a prop because he wants to talk down on Almighty Suspect. And this guy shows the back of the book like it's something amazing on there. Like, oh my God, there's magical in it. Bro, this guy was trying to sell you a book, you idiot. He's called a salesman. He said, do not buy this book. So I had to hurry up and buy this book. Bro, you know how ignorant he... Back to the video.
Listen, tonight, we are going into straight... We are going all... You guys, you're not a real Pan-African. Shit. You gonna see some shit. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. You see this? We go, look at it. You scared? Y'all already scared. Y'all already scared. They even see. Come on, bro. I sleep with shit like this in my house. Listen. We going full witchcraft on this nigga. It's over for this dude. It's over. Let me take the cover off of that bitch. Listen, you know when the book ain't got no pictures, it just got the words on the top. It's over for this dude.
Has this nigga ever been in a library?
We sacrificing goats and everything.
What?
Let's go, dude. Stop playing. You think 607 is more powerful than me? No.
Okay,
no.
I'm gonna skip past this. I want to skip to one part where, you know, after his celebration, you guys can go to his channel and watch this. But
we got him.
You can go to his channel and watch this if you want to. He's celebrating the fact that a black guy's going to jail. But I want to skip to one part where Gangland Neen came up there, and of course Brandon had to talk about black people. But let me see if I can find that part.
You good? The real problem is this. Before every video, you clearly have a disclaimer that shows it's like, this is all content, it's satire. I don't know the people I'm talking about, but these niggas can't read, bro. That's your mistake. They can't read. So it's like trying to communicate with monkeys, nigga, with English. They don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So we all understand.
Bro, you say crazy shit. We all
know it's satire. We all know it's just jokes. We can read your disclaimer. It's the red and white banner at the very beginning. But these niggas can't read. These niggas dropped out of school at like the 3rd, 4th grade and hit FIG, my nigga. They know.
So you all just heard what he said right there. Pretty much he's just jumping on black people once again. Pretty much saying that N-words can't read. Now he knows that gangland meme. I want to say about 60, probably 70% of his audience is probably black. I would predict that. I can't really say for sure. And when it comes to Tucker, I believe that probably about 60, 70% of his audience is black too. They both come out of the no jumper sector. Of course, there's other races in there, but I want to, mainly focus on the point that Brandon Tucker, not to be exclusive or anything, but I want to focus on, he always has something negative to say about black people. He's a so-called Pan-Africanist. He comes out of the Umar Johnson sector. The Pookie Johnson sector is what I like to call him. So this is what you get when you have these Pan-Africanist for-profit people who want to pretend like they're some type of thinking voice in the community, that they should have some type of seat at the table to be able to lend their opinion. Tucker shouldn't be lending his opinion on anything at all. This guy was just crying not too long ago about No Jumper firing him, but yet he's out there acting like Adam 22 loyal dog. He just went up there and had a debate with Destiny. Now that debate was a shame. It was shameful. I watched that debate and it was like watching two idiots go at it. But the only difference is that Brandon is so goddamn bad that he actually made Destiny look like he was a genius. Even though I'm sorry, that was just a terrible debate. Brandon cannot be debating anybody. He's a fake or fraud. He has this hat on 1926. Jesus Christ. So he doesn't reference anything in relation to black people. His whole brand as a Pan-Africanist is in relation to MAGA, 1926, Make America Great Again. This is the same guy who was telling black people that we need to move back to Africa 2 years ago. Now all of a sudden it's Make America Great Again. He deleted all his content, so he pretty much only has like 1 year worth of content, even though he had all that content where he was like making videos on video. He was doing 6-hour days making Tariq Nasheed videos, 6-hour days. And that Tariq Nasheed videos, man, it was making him buku money. Tariq Nasheed pretty much paid for his family to go back and forth to Africa for like 2 years. He knows that. Everybody know that to be true. But anyway, that's the end of this video. I might, throw some more stuff out there covering this Brandon Tucker guy. I see he's out there being Adam 22 loyal dog for he can get that job back at No Jumper. I guess that $200 a week wasn't that bad now, huh, Tucker? Well, that's all I got to say. Thanks for watching. Leave your comments in the section below. Peace out.